hear a low, slow, warped, hoarse voice say, "You always make me happy."
No, Chanel, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Nah, 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 nah.
Rated E for everything.
What is going on, everybody? Back with a brand new episode of Rated E for Everything.
Is the podcast where we talk a little about a lot. Are you going to keep those virtual glasses on the whole time?
Did you want me to take them off?
I mean, you do you, bro.
Thanks. You couldn't see me wink because of my Chad glasses blocking them.
Yeah, correct. Your reactions are going to be just nothing.
Yeah, it's like I'm incognito right now, actually.
Yeah.
Let me move it to. Oh, I thought they like. Yeah, there we go.
As soon as
Just
we started recording,
fucking hate Zoom. I hate,
as soon as we started
but I
recording,
love radio.
the whole thing went to shit. We've been talking for like 30 minutes and it's been fine. We
Yep.
start recording and like it just goes to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The internet connection immediately became unstable.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? Why is this happening? Also, like, I can't hear anything I'm saying, and it's really fucking with me.
I mean, I can hear myself not through my headphones, just like talking.
You can? I'm not able to do that.
Wow, that's cute.
So on today's episode,
What's happening?
did you not get that like loud ass feedback?
No.
Okay, great. On today's episode of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of spooky season, Chanel said
Spoopy season with a P, 2 P's.
Yep, because sorry, apparently my bad. Anyway, so Chanel texted me today and was like, let's record. And I said, okay. And she said, we could research a haunty boy or do more murder boys. And I was like, okay. So I decided that we decided, I guess, in the spirit of, Halloween, we are going to be reading true spooky stories off of Reddit. So we're going to get right into that after a Kami game.
A spoopy Kami game?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1. Pumpkin.
Exorcism. Oh my god. Pumpkin and exorcism.
Good.
Okay. Well, I don't know that you would know this.
I've got one. I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but I have something in mind, and I guess I can explain it after I say what I say.
Same.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Sleepy Hollow.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh,
obviously,
yours makes
like
sense.
yours because of Headless Horseman. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Didn't jack-o'-lanterns ward off like spirits? Right? It wasn't that like kind of their whole point, like was to ward off evil spirits, right? Am I tripping, or is that a thing?
I literally have no idea, but it sounds like I'd believe it. So
okay, cool. Well,
yes.
then we're going with it, and
Yeah.
nobody can correct me because I am God.
No,
anyway,
yeah, sure.
So now we have jack-o'-lantern and Sleepy Hollow. I guess I have one.
I guess so.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, ghosts.
Head. Okay. Oh my god, I have one and you're not gonna get it at all, but I'm doing it just because
I got
I'm
one
doing
too.
it.
All right, you ready?
No, wait. Hold on. Okay, yeah, go.
Are you ready?
You're not gonna get it.
Okay, let's see it. In 3, 2, 1, nearly
Lucy
headless
Lou.
Nick. What did you say?
So good, but I could not say mine. Lucy Lou. Oh my god, have I told you about this?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
You don't know who Lucy Lou is?
No.
Like the actress, like from the old Charlie's Angels.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so there was some point in time where she had told the world that she was sexually assaulted by a spirit, and it was like
what?
Like aggressively, But then she said that she was enjoying it and kept hoping it would keep happening.
Bro,
Therefore,
what kind of hentai shit is this? Like,
right. That's what I was saying. And therefore, we said head and ghost, and I said Lucy.
Nah, I went for the Harry Potter reference. I figured that was a
No,
layup.
that makes sense, but I couldn't not say it. Like that's the first thing that came to my brain. That's how you play the camera game, you know?
Ghost head.
Lucy Lou.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we didn't fucking get it. So obviously that bodes well for the rest of these Zoom recording episodes. So we'll see what happens.
Carl fucking
Pero.
hates Zoom. He hates it so much.
It is accurate. The fact that I've been at Zoom University for going on a year and a half now makes me want to fight like the entire United States. Because
you were gonna say fight God.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's also like kind of true too. Like why put me through this? I don't understand. Like, bro, come on. Just like come through for once. Like you ain't gonna, doesn't have to be this way.
I'm very sorry for your experience, but also it's highly amusing to hear you talk about it.
I know, and like what I'm saying does not match like the personality of what I'm looking like right now with this little fucking like bean sprout on my head and these like cute little dimple cheek things, whatever the fuck I got going on. We're keeping them on.
For whoever
Anyway.
is just listening to the audio right now, we're recording on Zoom, so there's video. Hopefully it's gonna be on YouTube. But Carl has a like a little sprout coming out of his head and a filter with little like anime blushes on his cheeks that are roots. So just keep that in mind as he's like spewing his hate for the world.
Very kawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, so before we get into it, a little bit more exposition on what's going to be occurring is, Chanel and I looked up a couple different like Reddit page posts, and we're going to be reading these people's tales of woe and misery and, just enjoying their general discomfort about life. So
for our entertainment and for
Yep,
your
and
entertainment.
for your entertainment. Yeah.
By the way, Carl and I haven't talked to each other in like a month. So, hey man, how's it going? You good over there? Besides, generally hating everyone in the world.
I don't actually. Today's just like an off day because I was like thought that it would be cool, but I've literally been like so like I felt icky all day today, like just gross. Like I don't know what it is.
Like mentally, or are
like
you
like
like
my
physically
body,
dirty?
like physically like gross.
Well, Carl's also just getting over sick, not the vid sick, but just like regular sick. So
well, it's not even that. It's just like my hands have literally been like so like clammy and moist all day. I'm like, why? I'm like, for what reason? Like this should not be happening right now.
Just a clammy boy.
Mm-hmm.
You just a clammy little bean sprout.
Also, like I don't know what was in my hair. I didn't have any product in it, but when I got caught in the rain earlier, like the hair like wetness like got into my mouth, and now my mouth tastes weird. It tastes like I don't know, like soap. Like I don't understand.
Like,
I was like,
shampoo?
how did this happen? Yeah. I'm like,
So you're having a good time today, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Overall, guys, I don't recommend going to college.
It rains here. Don't show up. Honestly,
no, not even
it's
that. Just like
worth
everything
it.
else, like it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Stay in school, kids, but go to a trade school.
No, sorry, I was getting uncomfy sitting like that because my feet were falling asleep. I've been having more feet problems. Yep. Who knew? Now my feet aren't wet when they get out of the shower, but they do just spontaneously fall asleep when I'm just sitting normally. I'm like, why is this happening?
I think you need to see a doctor, man. I don't know anyone with either of those problems.
Well, no, I don't have the wet feet problem anymore. And do you want to know why? It's because I wasn't drying them before. That was the thing. I just didn't dry my feet. Like every time we always like talked about like how my feet were always super wet when I got out of the showers because all I would do is just like step on the rug and then like immediately step off of it. So my feet were always super like wet. And now when I like actually like go and like dry them, I'm like, holy fuck, like these are dry now. Like who knew?
You're a really, really smart boy, but sometimes you're really, really not a smart boy.
I figured that the rug would just do the job for me. Like I figured I had to do like very minimal work.
Did you even like never mind. Never mind. Just doesn't fucking make sense. Any of it. Okay, well, fuck. I'm lovely. Since I've talked to you last, I've severely injured my knee, got my identity stolen, changed my hair to blue, got married, and went to Maui. But life's like, like ups and downs.
Got my identity stolen. That was today, everybody. That was
That
the day we were
was
recording this
today.
episode.
Yeah.
It was the day we were recording this.
Wait,
Whoa.
this is a story I wanted to tell you. Okay, so all right, I woke up with 700 emails about things that I had subscribed to, all different subscriptions.
Yeah.
So legitimate, like not being like a douche, like legitimately 700 emails that I had to
Oh.
go through. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And unsubscribe and cancel subscriptions to all of those things.
Lovely.
My credit card number was stolen. Money was spent.
Oh my
So,
God. What the fuck?
yeah. My email got hacked. A little bit of everything. So they got into everything. Besides the point. So the first email that I opened was from Walmart, actually. And they were like, hey, we noticed some like weird shit on your account. We don't think
Yeah.
this is you. And I was like, oh, great. How'd you notice? Anyways, so I like clicked on the email and it was like, hey, there's these purchases. We kind of blocked the order. Let us know if this was you. Like, take a look at the purchases.
Mhm.
And so I was like, great. Walmart's on their shit for once. That's amazing.
Yeah,
right?
seriously, that's surprising, to be honest.
Yeah. And they had already issued a refund. Like, we were like chilling with Walmart, but they were like, we need you to look at these pictures of things that were bought. And I opened the picture. And this motherfucker, the irony of my life, why I think that I'm actually living in a fucking movie. Like, I'm pretty sure my life, like it's the Truman Show. I opened the picture to see what this motherfucker bought.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking statue of a deer.
I don't know if we've ever truly like elaborated on that fear on the podcast. I can't really remember.
I feel like we have.
We definitely have had to, but that is what did you do? Did you just like throw your phone and be like, I'm done with today? Like today sucks. Like that's it.
It was
like, that
5 a.m.
Yeah. So were you like already like were you like
I was
that's
like,
it,
no,
I'm done.
This is I literally like, so I opened it, I gasped, I put it down, I picked it back up, like looking like this, like glancing at it. And I was like, this isn't real. My life is not real. This is someone's playing a very elaborate joke. It can't like this cannot be a real thing. But no, this motherfucker bought a like 6-foot, like life-size deer, like hunting statue thing.
For what? Literally for what reason?
We're talking about creepy shit. Your girl did some detective work.
Nice.
And I don't know if it's the guy that subscribed to everything, but I found one guy, the Walmart guy, and I know now know his legal name, his kid's name, his grandkid's name, where he lives, what cars he drives. And I know that in his backyard, he's already got 2 life-size deer, so motherfucker don't need it.
Why did you find all that information so easily and readily available to you?
The internet.
That is pretty unsettling. Great. Love that.
Don't steal my shit or I will get all of your information right back.
So my most important thing, just to also remind the listeners of, is you got the tickets to the 21 Pilots concert tomorrow for me though, right?
I did.
That all worked out.
That was the first thing. So Carl had texted me, and so this is why I even got to my emails, because usually I just like swipe the whole notification away.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, I emailed you the tickets. And I was like, awesome. So I went to look for it. And I was like, why do I have so many emails before Carl's email that was last night? And I'm like scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, I don't fucking see it. I'm like, I don't think he sent it. And I'm realizing these are all from the same night. And I was like, holy shit, what happened? Like, but yeah, I got those. Those are acquired.
So is everything else like squared away with that now, or like?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, great. So like, I guess we can just talk about it more later. Like, I don't really know how much information you want to divulge to everybody, especially considering now, like, you could find like your house on the internet, just like all that shit. So
yeah, it's been good, been real good. But I messaged him on Facebook.
And what'd you say? Why'd you steal my fucking credit card, you douche canoe?
No, I said, and I quote, hey bud, how's hunting season going?
Oh nah.
Yeah. So I just want to
I
see
know
the
where you
answers.
live.
I just want to be like, listen, man, I'm not trying to start any shit. I just want to know like where you got my info, just
Yeah.
so I can secure it.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna answer.
Nope, he definitely will not, especially because he knows your name if it was on all your fucking shit.
Yeah.
Well, if you know it was him, then why don't you just be like, police, police?
Oh, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's happening either way.
Okay.
I just figured I'd try to play nice first, but
Period. Get that fucking guy. Send him to jail along with his fucking grandchildren. You're all gonna turn out to be criminales.
criminals, jerks, all of them. They took my stuff. Anyways, let's
Let's
episode.
get into it now. We're just gonna be reading some creepy ass stories from Reddit and stuff like that. And so, if you don't mind, I would like to go first.
Please do.
All right, awesome. So this one is just says true story time. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and my parents had just separated. My mom was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I had my own room, but I preferred to sleep in her bed whenever I was staying with her. Our 2 bedrooms were at the end of a hallway, directly across from each other. Our apartment was on the first floor, and I remember that it was in the middle of the summer, and my mom had a window open in her room, which was directly behind the bed above the headboard. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I remember sitting up and seeing that our cat was sitting in the doorframe of my mom's room. Her door was open, and you could partially see into my bedroom. This was strange because our cat was typically always in bed with us. As I was watching him, he walked into my bedroom and meowed. I turned to face my mom and wake her up. In the 3 or 4 seconds it took her to wake up and ask me what was wrong, we both looked back up in the doorframe, and there was a man standing by my open door, making his way out of
No.
my bedroom.
No, already no.
I still don't know how she managed to do it so quickly. This shit kills me. But my mother proceeded to pick me up and literally throw me out the screen window. Again, we were on the first floor, and it was maybe a 3-foot drop to the ground. She quickly followed, and we were able to start screaming for help, and someone called 911. The police came but didn't see any signs of forced entry, only that our front door was unlocked, which led them to believe the man must have exited that way. The strange thing was that my mom swore up and down she had locked the door that night with the deadbolt and chain lock. About a week later, she was cleaning the kitchen and opened up our water heater closet and found a notebook with names and drawings, as well as a pair of gloves and some gum wrappers. The police were called again, but all they could do was speculate that the man had been in our house and hid until we were asleep. And then it says edit. Just to clarify, this shit is so funny. Our apartment was on the ground floor, so my mother didn't hurl me into potential paralysis, just a 3-ish foot drop to the grass.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he was there. Like he had been there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like,
Bro.
good on the mom to be like, yeet, let's get the fuck, like,
get the
let's
fuck
not
outta
even
here.
try and like fight this motherfucker. Like,
Yep, we're
let's just
leaving.
out.
Yeah.
Didn't she say she had a sibling?
No, it was just the one kid
Oh, okay.
and their mom and
Oh
the cat.
my god.
I don't know what happened to the cat. They don't.
The cat's done for.
Yeah, but like also I don't know, like the guy being in the house, like, yeah, that's creepy as fuck, like for sure. Like obviously can't take that away, but the fact that there was like a notebook with names and drawings in it, why? What the fuck?
What was it
Why?
for?
What?
Is it
No, like nothing. Doesn't say. They found the death note.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's like a huge fear of mine. I watched this one video. I mean, I've watched many videos, but I watched this one fucking video where it was live footage of their kitchen. They like put cameras up to see what their dog was doing at night.
What the dog doing?
Because like shit, like there was like garbage all the time at night, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, the dog keeps getting into the fucking garbage. Like, how is he doing? And then they would like move it in different spots.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? So they put this camera in the kitchen, and they had like, it was like a bougie ass kitchen, and they had like shelves really high, like above the fridge, and then like shelving all around.
Yeah.
And so they go back to watch the footage of their dog getting into the garbage, and it wasn't their dog. There was a woman living in the cabinet above the refrigerator.
What?
Who would like fucking exorcist crawl out, go get food, leave the wrappers, and go back in before they woke up.
Huh, bro, what the fuck? That's some like Parasite shit, like that movie Parasite, like them living in the basement and like no one knowing. But that's creepier because she was living in the cabinet, bro. How was she
was
up
just
there?
She was just there, and like she lived there, and like that's their fucking, like, you just go and chill in your kitchen like every day.
Yep.
You were there, and she was there, and you didn't know because you have fucking bougie ass cabinets 10 feet in the air that you can't reach. Like, that killed. I was like, that's it. I'm checking every nook and cranny of the house I own.
Yeah, no, seriously. I could not, like, even here, like I sometimes hear like if I'm up late at night, like I'll hear like footsteps like in the common area, and I'm like, oh my god, please, I hope that one of my like roommates is awake. Please, one of
Please,
you be
please.
awake, please,
That
because
shit scarred me. I like
yeah, yeah, I'd be like, nope, 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 hard pass for me.
between that and the hobo in the closet and CCD, like I'm done for.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't be interested in either one of those things ever again. I
yeah.
would be like, the cabinets can just be open. It's a concept, or they have like glass in the fucking
Yeah. That seriously, like the fucking, it's the new way. Like there are
yeah.
no cabinet doors.
Yep, you just see right in.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. Mm. Yeah.
Gross.
All right. So mine is from a. Did you read your Reddit thread title?
No, there wasn't one. Mine's just like an Ask Reddit. So what I'm reading this off of for mine is it's just someone posted like, what is your scariest true story? This can be paranormal, normal, unexplained, whatever. But given that we're in the Halloween month, the Halloween mega thread just isn't doing it for me. I want to be terrified. Let me have it.
Mine is Ask Reddit from Javert or Havert. And it says, in the spirit of Halloween, paranormal or not, what is the scariest, creepiest, or most unsettling experience of your life? So thank you to those threads for this entertainment. It's pouring outside here and it's dark and it's like the perfect night for these.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. I think it's still raining here too. So good shit.
Just for clarification, in my bedroom, there is like a 3-foot door that leads in the storage area that we do not ever open, ever. And that's all I'm going to be thinking about all day.
For the next hour.
Yeah. So, okay. This one says, 15-year-old. I just got home from work, so I went to my bedroom to change out of my work clothes and get ready for bed. I'm in the middle of undressing when I look to my bedroom window to catch my reflection, and I see a man's face. I dropped to the floor, turned off the lights, scrambling to get dressed again. I was watching the window. The face is gone, but I'm still watching them. Then, out of nowhere, a fucking camera. No face, just a camera pointed through my window, staring at me sitting on the floor. I bolt from my room and tell my mother and brother. My brother went outside, and our ladder from the backyard was lying there, but nobody around. They had bolted already. Couldn't sleep for years after that. I just stared at my window every night.
Oh my god.
Which means
What
she
the
was on the
fuck?
second floor. This guy got their ladder and was creeping on her.
Bro, what the fuck? Oh my god. I hate like that, like creepy shit like that. Also, like, this is gonna be super off topic, but this seems like mildly related. Like child pedophiles, because 15 is a child. Like, obviously, if it was a guy like he was trying to creep in on this girl in like the area that I live in, we were looking through some of like the confirmed like sexual like child molestation cases. There was like a lot of fucked up shit over here, like really bad. Like a 40-year-old like molested like a 0-year-old. Like they weren't even a year old yet. Like
those people should burn.
Yeah, I agree. It was like, and I was like, why? It was like, what? What do you mean? There was like one of like a 16-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I was like, huh? I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
That
was like,
makes
why?
my blood boil.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I have no words.
Sorry,
I'm not
sorry.
Yeah, no, I
Yep.
have no words.
Yeah.
Remind me, I'm reminding future Chanel to put a
Trigger
warning in the beginning of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Need to do that.
Yes, definitely do.
Mhm.
So for my next story, this I don't know who posted this. It just says deleted. A terrifying but true story I experienced when I was 12. I moved to my dad's when I was 10 and didn't know anyone in the area except for the family my dad was friends with. Single mom with 3 kids. Luckily, there was a girl a couple years older than me, 12 at the time I met her, and we got to know each other a little over a couple years. We weren't close, but ended up having the same friends. One night, my friend Rob was hanging out with her and her younger brother. They happened to be in the house alone because my friend's mom was at work, which is where this gets terrifying and sad. Her mother has been helping this one lady through her work and got to know her fairly well. She found out her sister was in a mental institution and was let out recently. The night Rob is hanging out with my friend, they get a knock on the door. My friend thought it was just their mom. She knocks a certain way when coming in and answered it without thinking. Rob wasn't supposed to be there, and he took off through the window to his house down the road. He never thought twice about it. Wasn't her mom. It was the sister of the lady her mom was helping, and she figured out through talking to through talking to her sister where her family lived and her mom's working schedule. She came in, and this is where I don't know details, and I'm glad I don't. My friend's younger brother got away to the neighbors to call the police. This lady brutally murdered my friend a week from Christmas, decapitated her, and left her body naked in a bathtub, hid her head. They had to look through the presents, and I don't know where they found it, but they did. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
There is so
Bro.
much to
Unpack there. Like,
yeah. I
um,
almost just said unwrap, and that is in really poor taste.
oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So I guess my first impression is, and this is like potentially going to sound terrible of me. This is why you don't help strangers. This is like, this is the reason why you do not assist like just random people who you meet at work unless you're like really, 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 really close to them. Like, because you don't want shit like this to happen. Because I mean, like, she figured it out just from that, like that easily, just from like the very small connection that she had to her sister. This crazy lady figured it out that her mom, like all this stuff. I was like, what? How? Like,
I'm speechless. The dude that left, like, not his fault at all.
not at
Like,
all.
he was like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here, so we're not in trouble," like any kid would do.
Mm-hmm.
And then to leave and that happened, that
Bro,
poor
he's probably
dude.
like, he probably was like fucked up for the rest of his life. Guaranteed.
Oh,
100%.
absolutely.
Without a doubt in my mind.
And then so another brother got away, and then there was a girl who was left there, and she's the one that got axed.
Hang on a second. The audio's just got really shitty. Not you, like the Wi-Fi quality, the network connection. Okay, repeat what you said.
So that dude left.
Yeah.
The little brother got away somehow.
And called the cops. And the girl who answered the door died.
Holy shit. And
Yeah.
she hid her head among the Christmas presents.
That's what it seems like.
I feel like I'm gonna die some way similar because I like talked to a stranger.
Yeah, man. Like nope. Hard pass.
That one is fucking brutal.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. Man, this is just making me think about all the people who are fucked in the head like that. Like, no comment. No comment.
You know, I'm gonna poke the bear here. I don't think it's always crazy people. I think people are just bad. They know what they're doing.
Oh, that too. I mean, that is definitely a very like. I mean, if she just had just gotten out of a mental institution, like that's why I'm saying she's crazy. Like,
yeah. But I mean, like,
and maybe crazy is like the politically incorrect term. Sorry if I'm using that wrong. I mean, if you're going into random people's houses and decapitating 12-year-olds and leaving their bodies in bathtubs and hiding their heads amongst Christmas presents, I feel fairly safe to say that if you are insane, like that, I feel like that could, like, that's justified.
I feel like you're good saying no one's gonna be upset with you saying that.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy shit. Okay, I am not reading these ahead of time, so if they're all like this, then I don't know. Good luck, listener.
Yep. I'm not reading them either. So I'm just like, oh, let's do something. Let's go crazy.
All right, next one. When I was around 16, my rapidly growing family finally moved from the house I had spent my entire life in. As you'd expect, we spent a lot of time fondly remembering things we used to do in the house as we were packing everything up. At some point, I decided to go into the downstairs closet with a flashlight and read something I used to do when I was younger to get some peace and quiet.
Big
Oh,
mistake.
she was going down there to read. Okay. Now, this is one of those deep closets that goes under the stairs. I'm already not ready for this.
Not a fan.
It went back around 8 feet and then had a left turn into a very low, maybe 3-foot high space. This space was largely occupied by a mountain of old blankets and stuffed animals. Of course, this is the most fluffy spot, so I'm going to go sit there and read. About an hour in, I shift a little bit to get comfortable, and I hear a low, slow, warped, hoarse voice say, "You always make me happy."
No, Chanel, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Nah.
I flipped my shit, hit my head on the low ceiling, and practically broke the door down to get out. After hyperventilating and explaining to my family why there was no color left in my face, I went back to see what it was. It was my stuffed little bear from when I was 3 or 4 years old that I happened to lean on just right and press his belly. When I pressed his stomach again, though, nothing happened. This poor bear I hadn't played with since I was a toddler used its last breath of power to tell me that I made him happy.
slightly wholesome, but also like I was like, what's gonna be under there? Is there gonna be like a homeless person like
That's
sleeping
what
under all
I
the fucking
thought.
like blankets? Like what's gonna be occurring? Like I don't want any
Whew.
part of this, man. Like
That was good storytelling. I love that one for us. That was
yeah,
good.
that okay. That was a bit of a palate
Oh,
cleanser. That was a
wow.
bit of a palate cleanser. Okay,
That
I feel
was
better about
almost
that.
horrible. I was almost gonna leave because it's just scary homeless people, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I'm gonna tell this one. Actually, maybe I. So Evan told me a story, um, and he's gonna get credited through this. And sorry if I tell the story wrong, but he and I this is creepy enough where I feel like I could tell it.
Okay.
And so he and his friends were like, you know, walking through the foresty area of like where we live, and like back home, and they came across like a witch ritual,
Oh no.
like bones and shit like that, and like what looked like dried blood like on a bridge, and like Evan, like they were just kind of chilling there, and then one of them was like, hey, like watch out, like you stepped on it, like you shouldn't have done that, like don't step on it, like that's bad. And they were like, he was like, oh okay, and he was like, I don't really believe in that shit, like get the fuck out of here, like I don't care. And so he said that he felt weird
Mistake.
all evening and that the vibe was like very off. And then he got home and he was like laying in bed, and his dog came into the room and started barking like fucking crazy, like going ape shit, and barking at the corner of the room,
No.
and was
No.
doing it over and over and over again, and then like backed away and went,
Wait, you froze. Say again. He backed away and he did what?
and the dog like whimpered.
No.
And then Evan like went to go like investigate, and like nothing was there, and then everything was like chill. But he said that he was like he was like freaked out as fuck. Like his dog was
Yeah.
just like barking at the corner of the wall, like where the rooms connected, like the walls connected. It was just barking at the corner there, and Evan
No.
was like, I didn't want to look at the corner. He was like, I didn't want to look over there. Like I don't know what the fuck it was. Like
No. Like fucking that's the point where I just would have been like, okay, I'm leaving forever. I'm
yep,
gonna
I'd be
go
like,
figure out how to cleanse myself for my
yeah,
dishonor. Like, what have
yeah,
I done?
seriously,
Oh my
seriously.
god.
I just felt like telling that one because I felt that that was like when he told me that I was like, nope, 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 gonna be a no from me.
Yeah, that's horrifying. I'm glad he's like, I don't know, alive.
But yeah, seriously, I was like, dude, I was like, do not go back to that area, bro. Do
Watch where
not
you
do it.
step, man. Do you want to read one or should I just go
Oh,
now?
okay, yeah. So this one's not super scary and it's not super long, but I'm gonna like there's like two like there's like a comment on it, and it says like similar. So I
Okay.
was sitting in my room after getting out of work on the second floor. My little brother is downstairs watching TV. The dog is in the hallway outside my room sleeping. All of a sudden, the dog starts barking, making all kinds of racket, jumping around, barking, clacking nails, howling. I go to get up to see what's up, and I hear, "Oh, that's a good girl," in a male voice. It didn't sound like my little brother, so I go, "Oh, you're home early," thinking it is my dad's friend slash our roommate as I open the door. As soon as I'm out there, there is no one at all but the dog wagging her tail, staring at the empty end of the hallway. Little bro comes upstairs to yell at me for getting his dog riled up. Said he heard the same voice, thinking it was me or our roommate. We did a once over of the house with my butterfly knife and his BB gun, and there was nobody. Still gives me the spooks to this day. The comment under it says, my aunt experienced something similar. She was home alone when she heard someone open the door and walking in the hallway. Since her husband, my uncle, was not supposed to get home in a few hours, she went downstairs to see if someone was there. She did not see anyone, but outside the door, she saw footsteps in the snow leading to the door, but not away from it. This got her nervous, and on a second
What?
glance, she saw an unfamiliar pair of shoes in the hallway. She ran up and called the police, and when they came in search of the house, they found a homeless man hiding in a storage room holding my uncle's shotgun, but luckily he had not found the ammunition. It was hid another place. He was arrested, but according to my aunt, it is the scariest thing she has ever experienced.
What? Of course, it's the scariest thing.
Bro, the homeless people are built different. I cannot. I'm like, why? What the
Wait.
fuck?
Oh my. Okay.
I'd be
So
like, nope,
during
no.
that story, I was gonna ask you if you think it's like paranormal shit or if there's just scary people. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just a scary person. He
I'm
found
like,
the shotgun and she
yeah,
was home. He just
yep,
couldn't find shells.
yep.
Ah,
Nah,
no,
hard no for me.
no. Also, side note, always trust the dog.
Seriously,
Always,
seriously.
always trust the dog.
No, literally.
Jesus. Oh, I don't love it. I don't love it. Okay. I'm gonna be checking every corner tonight.
Me too. I'm gonna sleep with like my pocket knife under my fucking pillow or something. Like,
Okay. I was watching scary movies. Good start. And I got hungry, so I decided to go out for a late night Taco Bell run.
Period. Good shit.
This is me. I wrote
I like
this.
that. Yeah.
I lived alone at the time, so it was quite a shock as when I opened the door, a hand was reaching in after me. I slammed the
What?
door on the offending arm and rammed and grabbed a butcher knife. After closing all the blinds and sitting in the dark for over an hour, I worked up the nerve to look outside. I was shocked to find a bunch of Chinese food menus for a new restaurant scattered all over the ground.
God. God damn it.
The twists, I'm loving them. That guy's fucking arm is probably broken though.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, I would have done the same. Actually, I probably would have gone out there to finish the job low key. Like, I don't know. I would
I
have been like,
have
what the
to
fuck?
I have to make sure that the next one is not a twist.
Yeah, seriously. Not these twist ones are actually like it's like a nice palate cleanser from what I'm reading because these ones are legitimately freaking me out. This one just says alrighty. Good start.
Alrighty.
This is the late 80s, early 90s. I was around 6 to 7 years old. I am at my home with my sister, who was 14 or 15 at the time. We grew up in a small Texas town. Everyone knows everybody. We were home alone this particular night, and my folks let my sister babysit me frequently. We always got along due to our age gap. Anyway, it is about 8 p.m. in the winter. Deserts get pretty damn cold. So it is dark, and we are in the common room since that is where the TV was. Watching 60 Minutes or 48 Hours or Hard Copy or some shit, those 1 hour news pieces on CBS that chronicle I don't need okay. That chronicle large crimes in depth, trafficking, murders, kidnappings, and the like. Basically a gritty Lifetime special. This one was a typical story. Guy next door that was quiet went on a rampage in his next door neighbor's house, mutilating them and kidnapping their young daughter. Okay, so this is probably going to be relevant. Well, the thing
Yeah.
about our house common room is the door leading to the backyard has a large glass door on a wall of floor to ceiling windows. Nothing but blackness beyond it unless you have a backlight on. We did not. Oh, hell no. The front door is on the other side of the room with a small entryway. This is a solid door, so you cannot see what is beyond it, with a glass storm door on the outside of it. About 45 minutes into the show, they are talking about the ongoing manhunt for this crazy guy. And bam, 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 front door bangs like crazy. We jump the fuck up and scream like banshees. Dead silence now. The only lights on in the house are the kitchen down the hall from the common room we were in and lights from the TV. We start thinking something on the porch. We start thinking something on the porch. We had some planters and a rocking chair out there, had simply blown against the door. This was West Texas, crazy strong winds out that way. While a minute or two of silence and us holding each other post adrenaline overdose passes. Just when we were about to declare everything is safe, we hear the storm door on the outside of our front door close. Fuck. Someone had to have opened that door to be able to bang on the front door like that. Shit, shit, shit. We are both frozen in the middle of the room on the floor where we had been watching TV. My sister crawls over to the TV and turns it off. It was an old TV, so you had to turn that metal dial to switch it off, which it does with a mildly loud thunk. Now it was just us in a room dimly lit by the kitchen light down the hall. I do not remember how much time passed with me frozen and my sister still crouched by the now off TV, but we kept making eye contact, then looking at the front door. I remember this part vividly. I am on my knees, sitting on my feet, and I turn around to look at the back wall of windows and glass door. We hear and I see the back doorknob turn. It was locked on the knob, but not dead bolted. It rattles slightly as if someone is gently trying to handle. Neither of us make a sound, just held breath. Then bam, 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 loud as hell as someone is trying to force the door open, just jerking it back and forth. The whole wall of windows is vibrating violently, and I can see with each jerk of the door how my slight reflection gets fuzzy, then clear, then fuzzy. My sister flips her shit and screams bloody murder. I am still frozen on the floor. She gets up and basically drags me into her bedroom, slams the door, throws her mattress and anything she can in front of her door. Thankfully, she had remembered
Good
the phone.
sister.
One of those ungodly heavy beige plastic long metal antenna portable phones. We still had to direct dial the sheriff there, and in her panic didn't remember the number. She just hit redial on the phone. It was one of her friends, and she tells them in broken gasps that someone is trying to get into our house and she needs to get there right fucking now. The profanity sticks out more than anything else. Who knows, young brain. I am curled up on the floor and cannot stop shaking. We don't hear anything else until we see the headlights of my sister's friend and her parents driving up to the house. Excuse me. We never did find out who was at the door or why. There were no signs of anything happening, but a couple of scuff marks on the bottom of the back door that we could not remember if they were there beforehand or not. Nothing like that has happened to me or her since, but for damn sure we never forgot to lock a door after that.
I just well okay. I have always wanted a wall of windows until this very moment.
Oh fuck no. Literally fuck no. Fuck that. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the outside at all at nighttime.
No, not unless I had those like windows
Nah.
that dimmed.
Mhm.
Also, good sister. She
Yeah.
dragged her in and barricaded the door.
Yep.
also good friend for not like fucking around and being like, Mom, yo, we gotta go now.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't understand. I literally don't understand.
On the other hand, like, what if it was one of their parents? Like, we forgot our keys.
Well, I feel like they would have like at least said something then, like at that point, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. This is the story of how a creepy encounter with a scary man at a harbor cafe saved me from something even more terrifying.
huh?
It was in the autumn of 1994. That's when I was born.
That is
And-
very specific.
Yeah. And I was 19 years old. At the time, my dad had been working for almost 6 months abroad, and I was planning a surprise visit. My dad and I have always been close, and I'm an only child, and my mother died of cancer when I was still a baby. So it was just my dad and I, a really tiny little family, but he made up for it by being the most awesome parent ever.
Nice.
Now that I wasn't a little kid anymore, I appreciated him more and more. I had booked a ticket to go visit him, and it was going to be great fun to surprise him. I had to take a ferry though, and I had just gotten my driving license and felt really unhappy about having to drive my little car on board the ferry. That would be intimidating. Like,
Yeah.
you just pass your test and you're like, all right, now drive it on a boat. I decided not to bring the car at all and just rent one once I got there. Having time to spend, I decided to have a coffee at a nearby cafe since I was early and they hadn't started letting people onto the ferry just yet. At the cafe, there was lots of truck drivers, and I soon realized I was the only woman there.
Oh.
Rough. One man, a 40-ish bloke with ice blue eyes and tattoos all over, was eyeing me from across the room. Something about him made my skin crawl.
Good.
I got up to
Good to
leave,
hear.
feeling suddenly very uncomfortable. Good. Trust your
Yeah.
gut.
Seriously.
And to my utter horror, he followed me. What do I do now? This was before everyone owned a cell phone, might I add. I decided to try and look busy. Maybe he would leave me alone. So I pulled out my ticket and tried to look like I was reading it carefully. When he suddenly snatched it from my hand and said, I'm on the same boat. I'll have hours of your company then. How lovely.
What the fuck?
Creep. In a voice that was an absurd combination of jovial flattery and hidden hostility. Ooh. Ugh.
I could literally picture that. That was a fantastic description.
Yeah.
Good job, Reddit poster. That was great.
It was great. I felt it very strongly that if I got on the boat with this man who now knew my booking details, I'd be in grave danger. I can't explain why the feeling was so overwhelming, but it was, and I decided there and then not to get on this boat. The ticket had been cheap anyways. I could get on the next one. It wasn't a big deal. I hid in the ladies' room until I knew the ferry had left, and then I went to rebook my ticket. The story could have ended here, a creepy encounter with a stalkerish man, but it doesn't. I was right in the assumption that getting on the ferry would have been unbelievably dangerous. Have you figured it out yet? The date was September 28th, 1994. The name of the ship was the MS Estonia, and that cold night she sank in the Baltic Sea, taking 852 people with her, resulting in the worst ferry catastrophe to strike Sweden to this day. I still recall that. I still recall that day with absolute horror and wonder what would have happened if this creepy man had not taken an interest in me. If I had not listened to my instinct and I got on that boat, would I have been among the survivors, or would my dad have seen my name on the list of lives lost in the Baltic Sea that day?
Holy fuck. Oh my god. That's like, that reminds me of the Seth MacFarlane story on how he was supposed to be on one of the planes that crashed in 9/11.
In 9/11, yeah.
Yeah. And how he just like he just skipped his flight because he was hungover or something. Right? Like, isn't that the story? Like, something
yeah,
like
he
that.
just missed it. And then the commenter under says, if you had decided to drive, you may have never had that encounter either and still gotten on the ferry. It's all crazy how seemingly small things can really alter your entire life.
Bro, literally the butterfly effect is a real thing.
For real. But this is what I tell Carl this all the time. Like, if you have an instinct, follow it. It's there for a reason. It's there for a fucking reason. Also, that makes me wonder, like, as creepy as this guy was and like hostile as he seemed, like maybe it was some universal sign. Like,
I don't know. He was probably just a pedophile. I kind of hope he died in the fucking boat crash.
maybe if that's the case, then yeah. But like, I don't know. Some things are just too weird to pass up.
Yeah, that is so bizarre and just like, wow. Oh my god. Imagine being like that person who wrote that. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like,
They also live in a movie.
yeah, serious. About 5 years ago, my mom started dating a guy she met on a dating site. That part is fine. I had recently started dating the woman who would later become my wife, and we had met online. I'll just refer to who as my wife for the story. Anyway, my wife and I never really liked this guy. We didn't think he was mean or anything like that, just a little creepy. He was quiet, he kept his eyes closed a lot, and occasionally said odd things like offering my wife a chocolate and then popping one in his mouth, closing his eyes, and moaning as he let it melt in his mouth. Okay. That's something I do to like weird out my friends as a joke and not
yeah.
something I do like that. All right.
That's okay.
One time, my wife and I were visiting my mom, but she got called into work, so we waited at her house. Her boyfriend was over, but he spent the entire several hours just hanging out in her bedroom with the door closed. Just before Christmas, my mom and this guy started having some difficulties. My wife and I were visiting her for the holidays, and she dropped all of her problems on us, and we listened carefully and told her our opinions and suggested that she would be better off without him. She already had her mind made up, though, and decided to break up with him on Christmas Eve. That was your first mistake. We spent the night at my mom's and got up early on Christmas morning to visit my dad at his house. We didn't plan to spend the night at my dad's, but we got snowed in, which was actually a nice Christmas surprise. Excuse me. The next day we left as soon as we could get through the snow, and my wife suggested that we stop by my mom's house on the way so that we could see if she was okay. My wife just had a really bad feeling about my mom's now ex-boyfriend. Oop.
Instinct.
Bruh, no. Oh, nah. Okay. My mom's car was in the driveway, but that doesn't mean much because she lives close enough to work that she often walks, and it hadn't snowed in her town. She also never locks the door, dumb as fuck, which drives me crazy. So we let ourselves in. That's when we see blood oozing out of the refrigerator's water dispenser. It had filled up the spill container and was leaking onto the floor and had made a puddle. My wife screamed and I freaked out. I fully expected to see my mom's head in the freezer. I nervously opened the freezer to find a bag of frozen cherries that had been opened, crammed into the freezer so that it fell into the ice dispenser and melted. Thought my mom was decapitated by her creepy ex-boyfriend. Holy fuck.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Thank God that one's a twist.
Jesus, yeah. Bro, if that would have been me, I would have been like, no. I would be like, I would be like, you're fucked. Like, you fucking me on Christmas. Like,
I would have been so mad at my mom after. Like, you can't lock the door when you've pissed off some dude on Christmas Eve, and also why are the cherries in the freezer, Mom? Why are they there?
yeah.
I worked at a movie theater selling concessions, and this older man approaches the counter and orders, and I asked him, would you like anything else? And he looks at me and he says, every time I ask for the thing I want, they keep telling me it's illegal. I'm quite creeped
What?
out by this guy, and so I just sort of chuckle, and then he proceeds to ask me, do you want to know what I ask?
No. I'd be like, I don't need coffee.
Working in concessions, part of the job is making the moviegoers feel welcome. So I say, sure. And then what he says to me is the most disturbing thing I've ever heard. He says, you wouldn't have any young girls in the back over there locked up for me, he said as he's pointing to the closet. He then continued, because that's all I really want is a young girl. I mean, I wish I could just bring them back here and you'd keep them there locked up so I could just pick them up whenever I wanted. I like younger girls, you know what I mean? At this point, a line had already started forming up behind him, and he still had not yet paid. So I told him his total of his order, and then he asked me, you understand me, right? I didn't know what to say, so I just chuckled and said, sure. Then he pulled out a $10 bill and said, I like you, put it in the tip jar, and walked away. So homie decided to go to the theater and tell this small young woman that he likes to keep women in a young women in a closet for his use.
Man, I just don't I don't get humans really. Yeah, just don't really get it. So I don't really have anything to say. I don't I don't want to ever work in customer service. That's what I'm gonna say.
I would have been like, cops.
Yeah.
Or at least
I'd
like
be
a manager, like, please don't let this man ever speak to me again. Ever.
Yeah, seriously. Fuck. I hate people.
I usually love people, but reading these, I'm like, nope.
See, I have and I think this is something I've got from you is I have gained a general of humans recently, just most people. I don't really have hatred for anybody that is not deemed worthy, at least in my eyes, for me to dislike them. So I'm like, you know what? If I dislike you, I dislike you. Like humans are good. They do nice things for each other. But reading this, I'm just like, nah, go back to being a cynical bastard. People are fucked. Like that's it.
I'm
It's
happy
just
to hear that you're liking people again. That's really
no,
refreshing.
no. It's this is changing my mind entirely. Everyone's terrible, and they're gonna like chop off each other's penises or something, and then I don't know, keep them as like trophies in their
we
freezers.
like not creepy people. We make an amendment.
Yeah. All right. I used to work as a bouncer, and on one slow night, a guy tried to come into the club after last call, which we don't allow. And after arguing with me for a few minutes, he just tried to push his way into the door. I grabbed him by his dreads and threw him back into the street,
Oh,
and this pissed him off pretty good. He
yeah.
started telling me I was a dead man and that he was going to his trunk, something I'd heard dozens of times, and it was always just talk. He turned right around and hit the button on his keychain, and his car was literally parked right behind him, 10 feet in front of me. I look around, and there's not a single other car or person out other than he and I and two other customers who were standing next to me smoking. It was very strange because it was the main street at bar closing time, usually swarming with people and police. He pulled a gun out of the trunk
No.
and stuck it right in my face, and that was the first time I'd ever had this happen to me. I had often thought about a situation like this and joked about it with coworkers, saying that I'd take a guy down or knock him out if it ever really happened. Nope, just pants shitting fear. Luckily, I had nothing in my bowels to vacate because I certainly would have if that wasn't the case. While trying to keep my voice from cracking, I used one arm to push the other two customers inside the door and said, "You're on camera. Get the fuck out of here." I backed up, locked the door, and puked in the bathroom for the next 15 minutes while the cops were called. Scariest moment of my life.
Wow. Good for that guy. He still did shit. He still did his job.
Oh
I
my
don't.
God.
If there was a gun pointed in my face, I think I would lose the ability to speak or move.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't like man, like there is literally no reason for that. That seems like such a jump in logic to be like, you won't let me into the bar? All
I'm
right,
gonna shoot you in the
let me go get the
face.
blicky then.
Yeah, like what? I mean, granted, the
Fuck
dude was
that.
probably wasted, but this guns and alcohol, they don't mix.
Yeah,
They
no
they
shit.
shouldn't be in the same vicinity ever.
Facts. That is an accurate fucking statement.
That's irresponsibility. He's fucking it up for all the people who are responsible.
I why? Just why?
Carl's just hating people right now.
I know, and that wasn't even scary. That was just like, why are you the way that you are?
You're just a dickhole.
Yeah.
All right. This happened not to me, but to my sister. Her husband and her had just had their first child a few months prior. My brother-in-law was working the graveyard shift at his job as my sister stayed home taking care of my nephew. Around 2 a.m., she heard loud knocking on her back door. She went to go check it out and saw a lady banging on the door asking for my sister to let her in. The lady told my sister that her husband had just beat her down the street and was looking for her. My sister was hesitant to let her in since she had a newborn in the house and didn't want to interfere. She told the lady that the best she could do was call the police for her. Smart. The
Yeah.
lady told my sister to not call the police and to let her in. This is where my sister got suspicious. She went to get her phone and called 911. When she went back to the door, the lady was gone. The police arrived a few minutes later, and they told my sister that the same situation happened a few streets down. Apparently, the couple would do this, and they would do this act to get into people's homes to steal what they had or the people that they had.
Good.
I'm sure this
Lovely.
is very common, but having it almost happen to my sister and my nephew just creeps me out.
Why? Like great. That's awesome. Good to hear. It's good. It's real good.
I'm like, obviously these are the people that survived that are telling these stories.
Mhm.
So like they made the right calls, but like good on that lady, because me, I would have been like, oh my god, you got beat, come in, like let me help you. I'm so fucking like
Literally, if I hear a knock at my door and I look outside and it's not somebody I know, I say, okay, you can stay out there then. Like I'm not gonna you go get fucked. Like I don't care what your problem is. Like
it's literally, I don't know if you've ever watched it. We've talked about it, but
what is it?
The Strangers.
Strangers, yep.
Yeah. This girl like knocks on their door at like 3 a.m. and she's like, I'm looking for, I forget what the name is, but she's like, I'm looking for Claire. And they're like, no, wrong house. She's like, are you sure? And right there, I would have been like, yeah, sorry, sweetie. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, oh, wait, you're right. Like, my bad.
No, 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 no. Okay, I don't really know how this is gonna go, but this doesn't seem like this. Just more seems like that's depressing.
Oh, boy.
It's
Just want everyone to remember that Carl has a bean sprout on his head.
yep. I'm trying to keep it in a good mood.
Mhm.
My mother-in-law was a very funny and cool woman. She and my wife were really close, and sadly, she passed away when our son was about 4 months old. Flash forward a few years. We live in an old 1930s, already a bad call, era
Yeah,
craftsman house in
no,
Pasadena, California. Our son is about 3 at the
nay.
time. I was giving him a bath one night, and he starts looking over my shoulder, not at random stuff, but at something. A moment passes, and he asks me why grandma calls mommy a funny name. What? Long pause. I asked him what he meant, thinking he was talking about my mom. He then says, why does grandma call mommy? And it's like blanked out. My mother-in-law's nickname for my wife. There's no like, it's asterisks. I was really set back by this. My wife and I never used the nickname. It was just what her mom called her since she was a baby. I asked him where he heard that. His reply, the farmer told me. Oh, we're all right. I asked him who the farmer was, and he
What?
replied, his friend. I told my wife the story later, and she of course reduced to tears over the whole nickname thing. We both know there is no way for him to know this, and we just kind of marvel at it. Flash forward to the next weekend, my son is playing in his room. My wife is at work, retail, and I'm home. I work Monday through Friday. I hear him start talking like he's having a conversation. He's saying things like, yes, no, I don't know that. Then some laughing. I go into his room and ask him what he's doing. And he says, playing. I ask with who. He says, the farmer. What the fuck? At this point, I'm already thinking about the fucking Exorcist movie and Captain Howdy. It's a little unsettling. I ask him where the farmer is. He says he left when I came in. The fuck? So my wife gets home and I tell her this. And now she's just as weirded out as I am. We have no idea what to do and figure if it happens again, we'll do something. A few days later, in the middle of the night, we both overhear our son saying the following. Grandma says you and I can't be friends anymore. Wife and I go check on him, both of us a little freaked. He's just sitting up in bed. I ask him if he's okay, and he says, yeah. Grandma says I can't play with the farmer anymore. He never once mentioned the farmer again, not ever. He's 13 now and doesn't remember any of it. We do, though.
No. A hard
What
no.
does this say? What does TLDR mean?
Too long, didn't read.
Just read it.
It's like it's a summary usually.
It says just read it. Damn, bro.
Um,
All right, I mean, clutch up, ghost grandma. Like, good fucking
yeah.
yard on your part. Like,
for real. But like,
literally, that is the fucking plot of what's it call it? Insidious, at least very closely. And also,
yeah.
and also, what else? What other movie? The and I've never even seen it. The
Conjuring?
one with Ethan Hawke. The one with Ethan Hawke.
Oh,
Sinister.
Sinister, yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
I just
Nope.
I say I don't know who I would be in these situations because like reading that I was like, no, okay, 1930s house. First of all, any weird shit happens,
Already a pass.
I'm already out. There's no way. And then I'm thinking like, what would you even do though? Like, what if the kids just got like an imaginary friend and not like a ghost friend? Like, what if we're just overreacting?
Yeah.
Do you spend money to move out of a house and you don't know if it's for real?
Hard pass for me on that one. Hard pass for me.
I know that you didn't used to, but I just don't understand people that don't believe in ghosts. Like,
oh no, I do now.
Yeah.
I like it's I'm like nerp.
Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that this child knew his grandma's weird nickname?
Yeah. There's nothing. There isn't a way. There's no way. Literally zero way.
All right. A cop here. I've posted this story before, so it may sound familiar. I was dispatched to a house at about 1 a.m. for a prowler. We get there and talk to the residents. Long story short, they saw two people wearing masks, one Jason-style hockey mask, and I don't remember the other. They were in the yard across the street. It was like 2 weeks past Halloween, so it seemed believable. We checked the area and don't see anything. It says 10-8. I don't know what that means. Some cops speak for probably all clear. It's worth noting the residents didn't seem drunk, high, crazy at all. A few times you'll get a similar call and get there to find the residents strung out on meth or seeing things. However, back to the story. An hour later, we get called back. This time we have our dispatcher on the phone with them while we're surrounding the area. There are about 5 of us, and we are in perfect position. Dispatch tells us that they can still see the prowlers in the next yard. We start to move in. Dispatch says the residents saw the 2 prowlers wave and move into the shed.
What the
There's-
fuck?
Guess where I am? That's right next to the shed. I give verbal commands, bang on the door, and nothing. Fuck it. Fine. I'll come in after you. Doors open, and it's completely empty. I even think to check for a trap door. Nothing. It's raised about 4 inches, so there isn't even a possibility of the door leading out. Again, check the area and find nothing. I talked to the residents. They said as I was moving in on the shed, the 2 put their fingers to their lips, giving the sign, and they both waved at them as they're on the phone with dispatch. They moved
Wait,
in
the
the shed.
residents did that?
Yeah.
Who
That
they
they're-
wait? Who did they wave to?
So the residents are looking at the people in the mask
Yeah.
who are walking into the shed as the cop is walking into the shed. So they're seeing these people that the cop's not seeing.
Oh my god.
And the people are doing the sign like, we're not here. And
What
this
the
guy's like
fuck?
staring in their direction, doesn't see anything. So they moved in the shed as I was next to it. We went over every possibility, trying to come up with an explanation. If the caller was just fucking with us, they had no prior history of it, as repeated calls have serviced for that address. I'm not much of a believer in paranormal stuff, but I can still appreciate a situation where I cannot logically explain what just happened, plus the pure fear of the residents. He's like, how do you explain this? And then he goes, dee doo dee doo dee doo dee doo.
Oh my god. Okay, so this one has a picture with it, so I'm gonna share screen with you. And I didn't want to click on it, but I am feeling ballsy and we're just gonna see what happens. My grandma lives in a very old house, late 1700s. Why? Which is surrounded by graveyards on both sides. Why? Literally for
Good
what reason?
start.
I would burn it down. The other day, my friend who I hadn't seen for months arrives at my house. We were walking along the old cobblestone driveway when he begins talking about his newfound spirituality, not in a religious context, but with regards to feeling tuned into things. I believed him. He had been away at a drug treatment program, and I believe that he had experienced some kind of cerebral or spiritual awakening. Anyways, as we are talking, my cat walks over to us and starts rubbing against my leg. After a while, I realize she won't quit and that she's trying to tell me something. It's always the animals, bro. I
They
start to follow
know.
her, and soon I realize she is going to the graveyard. Every time I stop following her, she turns around and rubs my leg until I begin walking again. When we finally get to the graveyard, she jumps up on a gravestone, balancing on the slender part of the gravestone, and will not move. She begins hissing when we try to take her off the headstone. We realize that the grave was someone who had lived and died in our house. My friend took this picture of the cat on the gravestone. Tell me if you can still see this when it pops up. Can you see this?
Yeah.
That is unsettling as fuck. That is like very
Look at
not
how
awesome to look at.
old that headstone is too.
Like that is like, this is some Sabrina the Teenage Witch type shit. Like,
It does look like Salem, but like that cat is looking at something. Like it's so dead-eyed focused on something.
I am going to now stop sharing with you and get rid of that from like my search history.
Oh my
because
god.
that's not great.
The poor cat.
It's not great. I don't like that. I don't fuck with that at all.
Can you imagine the cat's like, it's right fucking there.
Seriously,
Like,
seriously.
please, trying to help
I
you here.
I fucking don't. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I was sitting in our office room home alone when I was 19. I was typing a paper for one of my college classes. The office room used to be my sister's bedroom before she moved out, so a lot of her decorations are still there. She had a photo of a mountain range, an oval-shaped mirror, and 3 different hangings that read faith, hope, love. Ugh.
God damn
gross.
it. Get the fuck out of here.
This makes 5 total things hanging on the walls in the rooms. Suddenly, I got these random chills, which happens all the time. It's pretty cold in our house. But this time, as soon as I got the chills, everything in the room hanging on the walls fell off simultaneously.
What?
This freaked me out, but it got a tiny bit worse. I got up and walked out of the room only to notice that everything hanging on a wall in my entire house had fell.
Okay.
The only thing that didn't fall was a television that was bolted into the walls. All the pictures in the living room and in all the other rooms, all the trophies in my room from Little League sports, and even all the stands that held candles. I wasn't sure what to do. I picked up all the stuff and hung it back up, which actually took me around 20 minutes. Then I drove to campus to finish my paper. Never told my parents. It's also worth mentioning that this happened around noon on a sunny day in the middle of the day.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
It was earthquake.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, seriously.
That's enough to how could you not tell anyone about that?
Yep.
That's enough to freak me out permanently.
Yep. Yeah, okay. So I actually should ask Tommy again to tell me the story. And I'm not gonna tell it now, but he has got a really good like creepy story from last year. Like he actually called me on the phone and was like, I need you to talk to me right now because I'm convinced that there's something at my house and I'm scared as fuck. And he was like talking about how like one of his like mom's like hair like things, like I don't remember if it was a curling iron or the hair dryer was like turning on and off, and like how like they were repainting his old bedroom because he moved bedrooms and nobody had gone in there, and there was like paint all over the floor of like his hallway and like splattered like everywhere, and it was like super fucking creepy, and that his dog was like cuddled up on his bed like watching the door with him.
No, nope. I would have called the cops.
So I didn't read the beginning part of this because it sounded boring, but this doesn't seem super great, and this actually kind of freaked me the fuck out just like skimming it. So I used to live way out in the country, not desolate, but few neighbors and lots of land. It was summertime, so for me that meant very late nights on the internet. Our only computer was in the guest bedroom on the opposite side of the house from my room. The house is pretty wide, so I had to pass through 3 different rooms if I wanted to use the internet. It's about 2 a.m. ish, not to be confused with 2 Amish. Why? And I'm on the internet talking with friends or something. Anyway,
I love that.
some situation comes up where I need to get something from my room, so I exit the guest bedroom. I walk through the laundry room, tiptoe quietly through the kitchen, past my parents' bedroom because the floor creaks, and enter the living room. I'm 6 feet from my bedroom door when I hear this blood-curdling shriek. My eyes are almost tearing up from even thinking about it. Coming from right beside my left ear, the side that the dining room table was currently on, as in there is no space for anyone to stand there and scream in my fucking ear. I sprinted to my room and slammed the door behind me, grabbed whatever I came for. I still don't know why. Weapon, maybe? And I sat on the corner of my bed. The next morning, I asked my parents if my mother woke up shrieking that night, and they both just shook their heads. That was my first and only strange experience in that house. The funny thing is that after a while of sitting on my bed, I eventually went back to the computer to tell my friends what just happened. And someone said, I do believe I would have shat myself.
I do believe that's correct. What the hell? And people just like function after this. Am I crazy? Like, what
No,
would you not be fucked up?
I would be like, nope.
Yeah, I would be totally fucked for like 3 days. I'd be like, there's someone in this house. We need to find them. It's haunted. We need to move out. Like, perform an exorcism, burn sage. I don't know, do something because that's not okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I read one sentence and it seems like really horrifying. So I don't know what this is about, but we're about to strap in. Okay. The most unsettling incident in my life.
Great.
This would be during a family dinner when I was about 8 years old. My mom suddenly came out with, "It took me months to get your father's bloodstains out of the wall. The smell of his body was terrible and really clung to."
Wait. Her mother said this to her?
Yes.
Read
And
that
then
again. Sorry, that didn't process fully for me. Like I heard bloodstains and smell, and I was like, wait, what? Huh?
that's what I read, and I was like, excuse me. Okay. The most unsettling incident in my life would be during a family dinner when I was about 8 years old. My mom suddenly came out with, "It took me months to get your father's bloodstains out of the wall. The smell of his body was terrible and really clung to." And then she gazed off into the distance, utterly unaware of how shocking and unconducive to eating such a remark would be. Side note, my dad committed suicide not long after they split up. He did it in the kitchen of our flat while they were staying at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Someone, presumably my dad, also turned the thermostat up to the max before he died. He wasn't found for several weeks either. So yeah, I can imagine it was quite a horrific scene. My impression was that my mom was psychologically damaged by going through that, and as a result, she lost any sense of what was appropriate to share with the child or not. That's
Oh
so
my
bad.
fucking god.
Sometimes I
What the
do wonder if he was murdered, and that's why the thermostat was cranked to the max. And also, no one bothered to check on a man who was known to be suicidal and alone in the house, not going to work and failing to show up for his psych appointments for 3 weeks. At least it was, at the very least, it was neglectful. Sometimes it's hard hugging my mom when I have suspicions that she had a greater role in my dad's death than she will ever admit to. I know how clever and scheming she can be, but I'll never know for sure. And I know how hurtful and angry I get when someone else thinks they know that I'm guilty of something and I know I'm innocent. So I try to keep it buried in the back of my mind.
Yo, what the fuck? I would literally never be able like I don't even know how do you come back from that? Like I don't think that there's a way to personally like
You're telling me that you think that your mom either put a hit or murdered your father and you hug her still?
yeah, bro, how do you just like nah, I just put it in the back of my mind, no big deal. It's chill. Not even like don't even trip. Like it's all good.
Has this, I mean, fucking, what has this lady been to counseling? She's just sitting there with an 8-year-old and is like, man, the smell of your dad was really fucking terrible. Like, just nonchalant and just like gazes off, like, ah, yes. And dinner
Nah.
tastes great as well.
Fuck dinner tastes good as well. Are these pork chops simply cooked to perfection?
It's these pork chops that were frozen. They were from your dad. Like, fucking what?
Excuse me?
Like, ah, yeah, scrubbing your dad out the carpet was a real bitch. Like,
Yeah.
excuse, this child was 8 years old when she said that. Also, what it, if it was suicide? One, like, so sorry, dude, that you were
Yeah.
that messed up. But two, like, how fucking cruel if he turned the thermostat all the way up and was like, ha, if I'm gonna die, you're gonna have to clean it up. And
Yeah, that's
that's twisted all on its own. Oh
I
my
have no
god.
I don't even know what to say to that.
My mouth did the thing where it salivates when you're gonna vomit, so I'm gonna
Mm.
stop talking about that one.
Oh man. This one, I'm excited. I think that you will shit yourself.
Oh, good. Is it a good one to wrap up with?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
When I was a kid, the thing I hated to do the most was take my clothes downstairs to the basement and place them in a big pile next to the laundry machine so that my mom would wash them. That side of the basement was not finished, and it freaking terrified me. I
That's
had
your
so
home.
yes, I
That's
know.
you. You have to
Yep.
take the laundry into the basement that's not completely finished. That's horrifying. Okay.
I had so many nightmares about this place and like crazy reoccurring nightmares that I would realize when they were happening, but I was unable to escape them.
No,
One
the
of the
worst.
nightmares was that I would be up and around the house with no one else at home, and then I would become aware that it was approaching the time, and the time is in capitals, like it's an event. I didn't know what time it was,
303.
but I could feel it in my bones that bad things were about to happen. So I
No.
would get under the kitchen table. The door to the basement was in the kitchen, and then the basement door would open, and I could see the legs of some man. I never knew who it was and never saw his face, but I knew that if this creature caught me out in the open, it would do something. It would do terrible things to me. The worst thing was the thought that it knew I was under the table, but it enjoyed the fact that I was so afraid, hiding under there, trying not to be seen or heard. Sometimes, either at the end of an unrelated dream or on its own, I'd be walking down the steps into the basement, and when I stepped out the last step, I was plunged into total darkness and something would grab me. I can't explain the terror this produced in me and the fact that I knew at the top of the stairs what was about to happen and I could not stop walking.
No. No.
There were other crazy dreams like that, all taking place in the basement or about the basement. I hated the basement. One day I had to take my laundry down there when I was home alone, except for my dog. So I decided it'll be better to have her down there with me than have to go by myself. I grab my laundry, call the dog, and head down the stairs. It's daylight, light is streaming down the stairs and into the basement through these small slit windows, and nothing is all that terrifying. I saunter over to the machine, casually toss my clothes into the pile, and start to make my way back up the stairs. Previous boldness aside, I always run up the stairs because I hate the basement. I do the same. I was a
I
scrawny
would too.
kid, so you could barely hear my feet tapping up the stairs. Suddenly, all I can hear is this insane thudding and scrambling coming up the stairs behind me. My brain almost literally shut down. I screamed with terror. I felt my heart pounding in my chest, and I couldn't even continue moving up the stairs. I simply fell onto the stairs and curled up in a ball. Can
Wait,
you
was
even
it the
imagine
dog?
growing up and being told monsters aren't real, and then facing the moment when your worst nightmare is about to murder you in your own home? And I just shut my eyes as tight as I could, and I waited to die. Then my dog started licking my face, excited to be
Ah, I
playing a
knew
new
it.
fun game called Race You Up the Stairs.
Oh my god. Damn. Okay,
Uh,
so I have the like thin stairs that lead to my upstairs, and there is at the bottom of the stairs, there's this like what, like 2 foot by like half a foot, like thick glass window that you can't particularly actually see through. It just like
oh,
lets
yeah,
light
I know what
through.
you're talking about.
Yeah. And to this day, if I'm home alone and going up the stairs, there's some part of me that for some god awful reason feels like something is watching me through that window
No, thank
and
you.
will like come get me through that window.
No,
And
thanks.
it's like nothing can fit through there. But no matter what, if I'm home alone, you best believe I am fucking sprinting up the stairs because I don't trust it. I won't.
I always sprint up the stairs from my basement. I also refuse to go down there past like 11 p.m. If especially if nobody's awake.
Yeah,
Like if my
no,
mom's asleep already, I'll just be like, I'll throw the bitches at the top of the stairs and I'll get them tomorrow. Like, ain't a not that is not happening. I refuse. I refuse to do it. I will not
no,
take any part in
you're
that
a
bullshit.
smart man. That's like our back room. It's relatively large, but whoever built it decided to put the light switch on the far end, like from the rest of the house.
Yeah,
So when you turn it off, you then have to run through darkness to get to the rest of the light.
smart.
Yeah, that's fucking horrifying. And that was like my least favorite thing to do because like there was a patio glass door. So I always thought someone was going to come through that while I was
Yep.
running. And luckily now we leave Christmas lights up year round in
Cute.
that room so I can turn them off when I get to the safe
Yep.
space.
That's so funny.
Oh, dude,
Oh
the
man.
dark is scary, and these stories, they tell us why. Scary
Yeah.
shit happens in the dark.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was gonna be the last one, but I'm reading the comments on this really long one, and it says, "I'm done. Fuck you. Fuck this. I'm gonna cut out my eyes now. Fuck reading." And I feel like that just means that I should read this. Like this doesn't sound
Yeah, I
great.
feel like you need to end on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the other one was funny because it scared the shit out of me reading it, and then to be the dog, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like Jesus. Like I have a few paranormal events that happened all throughout my life. Most of them are pretty tame, but there's one that got to me and still sticks with me today. About 4 years ago, I was ending my freshman year at college. I lived in the dorms with a kick ass roommate and pretty much had a great experience altogether. Towards the end of my last semester, something seemed different in my hall of the dorms. We were all still our lively selves, but just walking into the dorms would give you this massive feeling of dread. We all wrote it off as the stress of finals approaching. Yo, y'all all felt that? That is not great.
Hive
Um,
mind over
but it
there.
just felt off. Well, one night after studying, I decided to hit the shower so I can just wake up and make my way to class in a few hours. Before I keep going, I should go ahead and set the layout of our hall and the bathroom. Our hall was one of many halls on a single floor. Each hall had 4 rooms that accommodated 2 people each, or a single room for the RA. The entrance to the halls were massive steel doors with a small window located at one end, and across from it was the bathroom. It seriously felt like a prison block rather than a living quarter for college students. Kind of with the way you described it, kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, really.
As for the bathroom itself, when you walked in, you were immediately met with 2 sets of sinks, 2 sinks aside on your left and right with massive mirrors facing each other and creating that infinite loop of mirrors. Hey, I had that in my dorm last year too.
Maybe he
Then
just went to your school.
yeah, seriously. Then past that, you had your 2 urinals and a toilet seats and a toilet stall on your left and 2 showers on your right. When facing the left set of sinks, you can clearly see into the showers from the mirror. If the door is open and in the right set of sinks, you can see the reflection of the shower. The door of the bathroom was identical to the entrance to the hall, a massive steel frame with a small window that didn't allow for much of a view, with good reason. The door was propped open with a giant wooden wedge that couldn't be moved unless you were really trying to close that door. So back to the story. I'm all alone in the bathroom gearing up to go shower. I throw my change of clothes on the right side sink so that way I can reach around the stall and grab them. Once I set my stuff down, I happen to look up into the mirror and I can see in the distance something almost shimmering inside the shower stall. As I look up at it, I notice that it slowly gets closer, like it's jumping from the furthermost layer to the next layer closer. I'm kind of unsettled, but I don't think much of it, other than me coming down off a massive Red Bull, Adderall, and caffeine kick. But it starts transitioning faster as it gets closer, I can start making out details, but nothing vivid or striking. Yo, hang on, sorry. I'm just gonna okay.
Turns the light on.
I caught myself in the corner and like my whole face was just black. And I was like, I'm not much caring for that right now. So but it starts transitioning faster. As it gets closer, I can start making out details, but nothing vivid or striking. It's just a dark mass that looks like it's covered in hair. Oh wow. At this point, I'm freaking out hardcore since this thing is getting closer in the mirror, and I'm pretty much frozen to this one spot. As it gets to the fourth layer, I get the closest look at this thing I'll ever get, and I regret every minute of it. It wasn't hair, but some kind of long flowing veil. You could see through it partially, but from the torso down, it was just solid black. And the face, I can't describe it, but it was clearly human. But at the same time, it was so far removed. There were eyes, they were black, but definitely glowing somehow. I only saw this for maybe a second at the most, but it burned into my mind forever. I have goosebumps. Oh my God. But it burned into my mind forever. Then the lights cut out. Oh, you're fucking kidding.
Nope.
And I hear the door
Nope.
slam. It's pitch
Nope.
black in the bathroom, so I can't see this
No.
thing anymore. I go to open the door, but it won't budge. Why? And then this intense smell of blood hits me out of nowhere, and that's all I remember. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I woke up later in the hospital. From what my RA claims, he was on his way to go use the bathroom sometime after this happened, where he found me in the shower stall with my shirt covered in blood from a massive nosebleed. He tried asking me what happened, and according to him, all I could respond with was, "It saw me." According to him, and I start freaking out. So he calls an ambulance and they get me to the hospital. All the while, I'm apparently freaking out. So they sedate me to get me to calm down. I'm coming to around the time my parents show up, worried sick, of course. I asked them what happened, and according to the doctors, they believe I had a seizure. However, they ran CAT scans soon after I was cooperative enough to do so and found no sign of any seizure occurring. Not to mention, epilepsy doesn't run in my family at all. And having taken Adderall countless times in the past and since then, I've never had a similar side effect, neither hallucinations or potential seizures. To this day, I still can't bring myself to look into a mirror for more than a minute, and just being stuck in a room with one for an extended period will cause me to break down. I've been to therapy going on 3 years because of this, and I've talked to countless religious leaders who, besides giving me the general, well, you should turn to God in times like these talks, don't recognize that kind of pattern as anything demonic or evil. And the strangest thing is that before that incident, there were no actual claims of activity in those dorms, and since I left, there hasn't been any either. It was just that one isolated incident. That is the most unsettling shit I've read in my life. That
I
man. No.
I don't
Nope.
love that.
Nope.
I know the people that are just listening to the audio, like there's nothing going on here that's real conversation, but my face, like I'm just in shock. Like the face was enough to be fucking horrifying. The
When they like
lights,
started the lights shit and then like them passing out, I was like, nope, it's over. Like
the
there's
lights,
no way.
no,
no
the
way.
lights killed me. And then he fucking just smelled blood. What? No. I mean,
I
well,
don't know, man.
granted, it was probably like his blood coming out of his face hole, but
still,
you're telling me you had this one isolated incident and it just happened to be you, and now you're fucked forever.
if you've been to 3 years of therapy and it hasn't helped, like, oh my God.
This poor person can't look in
God.
a mirror like
Oh my
ever.
God. Oh my God.
What? That was
Oh my
such a
God.
good one to end on.
Well, I'm glad that I read the comment that said "fuck you, fuck this, and fuck reading, and
Yeah.
fuck my eyes."
For real. Oh my God.
Oh God, I feel I am unwell.
Do you want
I
to
am
watch a
unwell.
Disney movie after this?
I don't know. I'm gonna just like make myself some dinner and pee.
Probably don't shower or look in the mirror.
I have to shower. I feel gross. Maybe I'll just shower with the door open, or maybe I'll have someone come in there with me and just like talk to me the whole time.
And just wear a veil.
Please, Chanel. Okay, great, lovely, love it, love it.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
like if you're looking at me, you can see that I have everything blurred behind
Also,
me.
that has been creeping me the fuck out this whole time. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, now I strongly regret this decision because every like hanging robe looks like a person.
Oh
And
yeah, that big like dark mass in the background behind you. Not
yeah,
good. Not
no,
good.
no.
Not good.
Now I'm
Not good.
not comfortable with it. Now that we're talking about it, so this has been wonderful for both of our mental health. We will also need 3 years of therapy after this night is over.
Yeah, cute. Look at the bean sprout, and that's how we're gonna
Aw,
end it
so
on such a good little note.
sweet.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This is the return of the Mac for us, I guess, since we actually haven't recorded in like probably a month and a half.
Yeah, but our listeners don't know that we released the last 2 weeks. Surprise! This is the first recording in like since like the middle of
something,
August.
the middle of August. Yep.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for being supportive of us while we were briefly on hiatus. Things got a little bit crazy here, I think, for both of us. And
Yeah.
if you can't respect that,
I won't be that rude, but like thanks if you're still listening.
yeah, thanks for still listening. But if you can't respect the fact that we went on hiatus, but thank
Yeah.
you to the real ones who are good listeners. But everyone else,
Mental health is real. Take care of that
for
shit.
real, take care of yourself, guys. As we
Check
did
the
not
corners of your
demonstrate
home.
today,
Yeah,
as we did not demonstrate today.
check the corners of your home. If you have security footage, either don't watch it if you don't actually want to know, or maybe like get a group of very strong humans to watch it with you. If your dog is acting strange, fucking listen.
Yep.
If your kid has an imaginary friend, you should probably get your house cleansed
No, you should just leave.
or leave, set it on
Actually,
fire.
and you know what? That doesn't even help because in Insidious, it didn't help. So they left the
No.
house.
It could just be
So just
attached to your child now. So just throw out the whole child.
Yep. And
Uh,
honestly, I agree with that, even if unrelated to paranormal activities.
What else? Don't look in mirrors too long. Don't shower alone in a dorm. And lock your fucking doors.
Literally.
Lock your doors.
Yep.
And even if you live on the second floor, you're not safe. Sleep well, listeners.
Thanks, guys. This has been great. We love you. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Rated E Pod. Cop the merch. It's spooky season. Get yourself a sexy hoodie, boy. Maybe we'll come out with some like fall merch. Christmas
we can do.
Christmas we could
Fall,
do.
I'm not gonna make
Fall
it.
would be a little bit too soon, and I
Yeah.
don't have the time. And
Yeah,
I don't think you do
same.
either.
Same,
We definitely do
sorry.
not have the time.
We have black and white. That's a really good fall fashion.
Yeah.
So
Or the blue and the black would look very smacky.
yeah.
Honestly, just buy it all. Buy it all. Make us
Buy
rich,
it all.
guys. Please.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Rated E for everything. We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye.